What's up, Rolling with Carlos family? This is Rolling with Carlos. We're back at it. Our Florida Gators lost yesterday, 26-7, and I don't blame it on the defense. I blame it on Billy Napier. A poorly called game and the lack of emotion shown by DJ Lagway. So-so game from most to a bad game from most of the offensive line. I'm not going to tell you PFF grades because I'm going to discuss that with my co-host and writer of Sports Illustrated SI, Dylan Olive, when we do a Swampcast and a recap of the most current loss by our Florida Gators yesterday on Saturday evening when they lost to the Miami Hurricanes 26-7. But I can tell you this much: the Gators are falling like dominoes, both figuratively and in reality, because the Gators have got another injury to another key player, and it's just sad. And it's sad that such a talented team has gotten off to a 1-3 start. But let me go ahead and read to you who suffered a injury during the Miami game. Because another member of the Sports Illustrated SI team wrote that article, and then I'll read to you another article from my co-host and friend of the Swampcast, Dylan Olive, which is called "Florida Mocked After Another Rivalry Loss." And then, like I said, on Wednesday of this week, you should be getting our recap on the Swampcast show of the devastating loss to the University of Miami. So I won't be going into a lot of detail. I'll give you my thoughts after the articles, but I won't get into specific details until that show airs on Wednesday of this week. Wednesday or Thursday of this week. So let's get into the first article, ladies and gentlemen. Gators suffer another major injury on defense in the Miami game, and this was written by Harrison Samajovitz from Gators SI. The Florida Gators will have to do without another defender as the injuries on the defense this season mounts. The Florida Gators are down another key defender. Cornerback DeJon Johnson went down on a non-contact injury after making a tackle. Johnson later returned to the sidelines on crutches. Armani McLean and Devin Moore will take the majority of snaps at cornerback. Johnson has the team's only interception this season, the first of his career. The pick came last week in the loss against LSU in Death Valley. Heading into the Miami game, he had 4 tackles on the year along with the interception. Aaron Gates suffered an upper body injury in the first quarter, forcing him to wear a sling on his left arm on the sidelines. Head coach Billy Napier is expected to address these injuries during the post-game press conference, which I believe he did. But as of the piece, he was correct. But Armani McLean got another interception last night during the UM game. The defense, which has been one of the saving grace for the Gators this season, takes another major hit. Along with Gates and Johnson, edge rushers LJ McCray and George Gumps Jr. and defensive lineman Micaiah Baru and Kayla Banks are missing Saturday's game due to various ailments, or they missed the game. Sorry, guys. This article was from yesterday, but I apologize. It goes hand in hand with what Dylan wrote a few hours ago. Gumps was a game time decision, and Burrow has missed the last 2 games, including Miami. Banks and McCray each underwent surgery for foot injuries and are expected to miss significant time. At the time of the publication, the Gators are being held scoreless against the Hurricanes Miami leads 13-0 in the third quarter. So there you go. He wrote it during the game last night. Again, the next article is written by friend of the channel, friend of mine, and Gators SI reporter Dylan Olive and co-host of Swampcast with me. Florida mocked after another rivalry loss. Florida has lost back-to-back matchups against Miami after a 41-17 loss in the Swamp last season and a 26-7 loss at Miami on Saturday. The embarrassment on Saturday night did not end for Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. Once the final minute ticked off the clock. In a week 4 at Hard Rock Stadium, as the mocking off the program continued over the entire night, spanning from the Miami locker room to millions that tuned in to watch yet another ugly Napier-led Florida performance. A heated rivalry. The Florida-Miami matchup was almost guaranteed to bring dramatics, regardless of just how lifeless the Gators offense may have looked on the field. That's what makes the game great. I think there's familiarity amongst the staff, amongst the players. Yet, these guys all know each other. So I think that's part of the game, Napier said ahead of the bout. There's a lot of common relationships on both sides of the ball. I think there's common relationships amongst every department. We all worked together. And then, obviously, we are familiar with each other from the past. The familiarities do not lead to pleasantries. However, as the Hurricanes quickly took to social media to flaunt another domination of the Gators, their second over Napier and Florida in 13 months. Similar to last year, Miami was loud and proud after the in-state win. Eating some barbecue gator from Gainesville, man. Hurricanes edge rusher Ruben Bain said while snacking on alligator during the post-game interview. Billy's Napier's finest. The talking continued from those in the winning orange, with on-the-field emotions carrying on into Instagram lives from Ernest Cooper and former Miami commit Ramani McLean. No love has seemingly been lost, with Cooper calling out the former five-star on Instagram Live. A former Florida recruit, McLean wasn't very popular all night in his return to Miami, hearing cheers from the crowd due to the history he had with the program. Despite the noise, he would make one of the bigger plays for the Gators, even if Florida would refuse to take advantage of the momentum. Ramani McLean interception, the Miami Hurricanes program and fan base he has plenty of history with, is another awesome addition to a redemption story he has been building this year. On top of the Hurricane players, Miami coaches even got in some petty blows. After plenty of back and forth in the offseason, former Gator defensive back coach Will Harris made sure to get the last laugh after being on the winning sideline of the matchup this time. Now, an admissible 3 to 12 in rivalry games as head coach. The celebration of Florida adversary has become somewhat common for Napier's Gators, with much needing to be fixed. The lack of success in such matchups becomes just another stain on his tenure. Yeah, we got work to do, Napier said after the loss. We've got an obligation to do that, not only for our fans and for our alumni, but the players in the locker room. Florida still has multiple rivalry matches remaining on the year, though time is quickly running out for Napier to possibly earn back some respect and dignity in such matchups before what now seems like the inevitable end of his stint in Gainesville. Guys, Napier needs to just be out of Gainesville. That was a very, very poor showing. We had 32 yards at halftime on offense. The defense played their hearts out. He and the staff have built a defense that can win championships. But unfortunately, DJ has seemed to have regressed and not been fully developed. Question is when he will be fired, and how long are they going to wait? And also, who's going to take over when and if he's fired? I would suggest Ron Roberts as interim head coach. And then when that happens, I'll provide you a list of my candidates once the firing happens. That's all I can say right now. And I'll get into a deeper dive of the current situation and the state of the program when we do the full recap on Swampcast with my co-host Dylan Olive. Later in the week, you'll see it on Wednesday or Thursday of this week coming. But like always, stay positive, stay on your grind, and go Gators.